Just 2 games ago, we saw our offense really come out and put together a great game. However, it was more through the passing game that we found success against the Cardinals, and we wanted to run it back last game against the Steelers and see if that was just something we could actually build upon or if it was just we got a bit lucky. And after a really bad performance against the Steelers, losing 39-20, we figured it was probably more of a fluke than anything else. And as we open up this episode, we will be making some more roster changes. I did a deep dive in through pretty much every team's roster to try to find a few guys that I think we can make some trades for that would help us out. Primarily wanted to find some help on the offense and defensive line. Would have liked to maybe find a receiver, but I feel like at this point, with the kind of quarterback we have in Bennett right now, not really the main focus. I feel like it would be a waste of a year of development. But what we can try to find is a starting offensive lineman and a starting defensive lineman. Now, if I remember correctly, in real life, Dotson was traded within this last week. I can't remember exactly what it was, what the compensation was, but I definitely want to go after him. He's one of the best linemen that is currently not starting. And with the fact that he's not a good run blocker, more so a pass blocker, I think sliding him out to a left tackle spot would be fantastic for us and would take over for Peters, who's the 41-year-old veteran that we signed. Now, while I'm making these trades, I'm trying to use the offers that they are putting together, what Madden at least is putting together. And there was some interesting ones here for sure. There is Trayvon Mullen Jr. that they're interested in. We just picked him up. There is a third 2 years from now, a fifth next year, and then a 7 again 2 years from now. Or we could go with a third next year and then a sixth this year. Or we could give him Julio Jones. He was just on the free agent market and we picked him up, I think, a couple weeks ago. He hasn't done much for us. And that's potentially something we could do, though I don't feel like that's very realistic. So I think we're going to end up going with this option, the middle option for the next year's 3 and then the current 6. For a starting caliber offensive lineman, I don't think that's too bad of a deal. I think this is less than what he was traded for in real life, but that's what we're going to rock with. As for the defensive lineman, going over to the Cowboys, Dorance Armstrong. He's 26 years old, so he's not very young, but he still can develop for probably, I would say, another 2-3 years. And then that would be his peak. So I feel like with us needing to address in pretty much the entirety of the defensive line, starting with a trade wouldn't be a bad option. Armstrong does come with a decent speed, not super strong, but does have a little bit of a blend of finesse moves, plus some block shedding with good tackling ability and awareness. So I think that would be a great pickup for us. He is rated as the 27th best right end, so he should be starting, and he's not with the Cowboys, but we can change that. Now, again, when we look to see what they are wanting in this trade, they either want a 4th next year and then a 7th 2 years from now, or just a 4th 2 years from now. So I feel like going with this one here would actually maybe help us out a little bit with the trade for Dotson, kind of level that out a little bit. So we'll go with just the straight up 2 years from now, 4th round pick for a guy that's going to help us out now. Now, we've talked about Stafford quite a bit in this series, and why I didn't want to trade him was because I wanted him to be a mentor for Stetson Bennett. But if you guys have heard, again, within the last week or so, apparently Matthew Stafford is actually struggling massive in real life, trying to connect with his younger teammates, as the Rams are quite full of a lot of young players and not a whole lot of veterans. So apparently he's been struggling to connect with them. So if he's not connecting with them, he's not mentoring them. So I think we could make a trade here, and Stafford was not producing very well for us in this series. So let's see if any other team has interest in bringing in a mentor. And there are 2 teams, the Packers, who do have a veteran quarterback, and then Love. They're not starting Love. And then the Colts do have the rookie in Richardson, who could be, they might need a veteran quarterback to come in, though I don't want Stafford to be starting over someone who should be starting. And I don't need Kyle Fuller or a future 7th round pick, but Darnell Savage, a strong safety And I haven't loved the play of Fuller at free safety. Plus, we get a couple late round picks in a couple years. I think, honestly, this is a little bit too much, but I'm just going to take it again. I don't believe Dotson was traded for a third round plus another pick. I think it was more of a fifth. So these two trades, I think, is leveling that out. Now, Savage is a star dev, so that's fantastic. 26 years old with some speed. Is not a fantastic cover guy, but as a strong safety with some decent hit power, tackling isn't fantastic. Potentially, he actually might fit better at a free safety spot, but right now we have Durant. We'll keep Savage at strong. But we need a new quarterback, and obviously looking for a mentor situation, and Matt Ryan, I just feel like he maybe would be able to connect with a younger team, Matty Ice, even though he is 38 years old. He does have that mentor tag with some good short medium accuracies if he did have to come in. Throw power isn't all too impressive, but it's honestly about the same as it is with Bennett. So let's sign Matt Ryan. I feel like he would be a better mentor for us. But those moves do leave us 3 players over the 53, and we're gonna have to thin that down. And when it comes over to the offensive side, Lance McCutcheon, he does have some interesting ability. He has the release primarily, first and foremost, and honestly not a whole lot else after that. Some decent catch in traffic and spec catch, but no route running. He's 24 years old and 65 overall. I think we're going to have to make this release. Along the offensive line, we're going to be releasing one of our backups, as we now have Note Boom, who's going to be a backup for us. So we'll be releasing Cole Shelton, who's 28 years old and only a 67 overall. Pretty easy choice to make there. And the next move we're going to make is actually a combination of 2. Over on the practice squad, we have Xavier Smith, who is a 25-year-old rookie. He's not going to develop for us, so let's make room on this practice squad. And with that room, we'll be sending Deshaun Johnson to the practice squad. And with that, we're at our 53-man spot. Now, hopefully, those changes help this team out. More so going to be for the future, though I would love for them to really have an immediate impact now. All the guys we traded for will be with us for at least a couple years, or have the possibility to be with us for a couple years. So we're still staying on the younger side, but hopefully these guys are just going to provide at least some slightly higher level of play that we'll be testing out against a very good Dallas Cowboys team. 87 offense, 87 defense. They have Micah Parsons. We're going to have to do well blocking up front. Their defense is first in rushing yards, 6th in just points per game. Their offense is 7th in passing yards. So a lot of things for us to try to work around, and let's see if we could work around it. Let's get this Week 8 showdown underway. As we boot it off, they will actually have some space to return it, as we did not get it into the end zone. And it'll be up to the 24 for Dak in this offense to head out. And it is really Dak's offense now. There's no longer Zeke a part of this team. And he's started his season off very Dak-like. 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, about 15, a little over 1,500 yards. And I'm very curious to see how this team performs, though they do still have Pollard as their running back, and he is really good, can get involved both in the passing and running game. As it's a quick dump off, gain of 3 goes to CeeDee Lamb. Now this team has a bunch of different weapons, receivers, running backs, the quarterback, the offensive line. This will be a very tough task for our defense, as we do get a stop on Pollard, leaving 3rd and 2. And I would just love to see this defense just take the next step, right? Not necessarily be great, but just get some decent stops, as Murray was in the backfield, but just take a poor angle and Pollard will convert. And it's those plays that if we're going to turn this team around, we're going to have to start making those plays where it was in our hands to get the stop. We just clearly did not. With a cutback going to that right-hand side, Pollard just didn't even have to make a move. The safety just flew by him as he flew down the field, and will be a touchdown for the Cowboys to end their first drive. Big credit to their receivers downfield getting blocks, and not very much credit to our tackling ability in the secondary. But we'll have to see if our offense can make do with what additions we have been able to make. Now, Stetson Bennett has been our quarterback for, what, about a game and a half so far? And not promising. There's been splashes of good play, just an overall lack of consistency, though that's very apparent on every level of this team, both offense, defense, even special teams. But for us to see success today, we're going to need to try to work out a way around a really dominant front seven here for the Cowboys. Their defensive line, even with the trade that we brought in Armstrong from them, who's already in a battle against his former team, they still have all the depth and top-end guys. I mean, Lawrence on the left, or at least for us looking, Lawrence on the left, Parsons over on the right. There's a lot for us to try to get around, and the running game did not go very well for us on drive number 1. So after we punt the ball away, Pollard, who went off last week, over 100 yards and a touchdown, already doing really well in this one. And facing their defense is going to be tough enough. We're really going to need our defense to come through for us, as we can't get that swat at the line. I thought we timed that up beautifully, but I would be incorrect, as obviously they gained the 4 yards, and Armstrong for us in the rushing game, or in the pass rushing game, I should say, is getting the start at the right end spot. Dumping it off will find Cooks first down. As I mentioned on the previous drive, just so many weapons for us to try to cover, plus trying to get anything going here, as, I mean, a great read originally there from Jones, but he gets picked up from an offensive lineman who is already blocking one of our DTs. Granted, Dallas is known for their offensive line, 2 of which are superstars, as just, I mean, pick any lane you want across the middle there. Pollard picks up another 8, already hitting 100 yards on the day. It took a solid 5.5 minutes for him to get to that mark. With the pass to the outside, CeeDee Lamb gets the catch, but not for the first down, as he had to come back for it, which led to a good stop there from Durant, who is not supposed to be a great tackler, but really doesn't have much of a choice, as Mercedes Lewis is going to get the grab for the first down. Honestly, I thought he retired a few years ago, but apparently he's still going strong. As they're down close to the red zone, just needs a couple more yards, as it's dropped by Gallup, who beat the outside coverage there. However, Joseph gets the better hand at the end, knocking it away. 2nd and 10 at the 23. It's an empty look for the Cowboys. A couple guys going across the middle, opens up Lewis for an easy touchdown. I mean, coverage wasn't anywhere close. And as we head out for our second offensive drive, just looking for more than 4 total yards, which we should get, as we do get the first down. Evans really made sure he picked up that last half a yard. And he's shown some decent promise, being I wouldn't say starting running back, but rotational running back, sure. As he breaks the tackle there, bounces to the right side, picking up yet again another first down. 4 rushes for him, 25 yards. Need to make sure you thank your offensive line after getting that kind of blocking done for you. As we're reaching the end here of the first quarter, want to set up our first pass, which will be a dump off to DeGuara. We'll pick up 3 yards. And we'll maybe have time for one more play here in the first quarter, as we come out with the weak eye this time. Try to get a little bit of some space, and the shoulder comes in. First it was Odigizua, and then the shoulder of Parsons just rocked Evans, and that will send us into the second quarter. I don't believe it was a bad first quarter for us, though definite room for improvement as we start with a 3rd and 8 at midfield. No one is open. Let's just try to roll out to this right-hand side, and great but late hit from Van Der Esch. We gain basically nothing and don't get the penalty we should have had. Now, the unfortunate problem here for us is that we have a 4th and 8 at about midfield, and we should go for it. But our receiver is struggling to get open. We'll throw this one out. Have Julio, who will actually make the grab. We've tried that so many times with that pass being overthrown, but that time, Bennett hits it. Maybe Matty Ice already doing a better job at mentoring Bennett than we saw from Stafford. As we'll continue on here, look for some space down the middle, no, swallowed up. Now here I was hoping to go with the jet sweep, but they do bring down the safety, but honestly it's hard to run inside, hard to run outside, so let's just see what space we can find. Johnson makes the defender miss, speeds away from Lawrence, diving into the end zone. An injury for Odigizua on the play, but a heck of a move there from Johnson. Got us into the end zone as the Cowboys will now take the field, only up one possession. Now, only if we could hold it to that one possession, as they do come out with a bunch to the right-hand side, setting up a lot of levels plays, and it's working for them as they find Cooks for a solid gain around 15 yards. As they do get the ball up to the 36, go with a little bit of some play action, which will only help them, setting up deep in Mullins. How do you drop that? The only turnover we've seen our defense force in recent weeks was the pick 6 from Adebo. Could have been a great play there from another young corner, but instead, Debo gets another pick. This time not going to be 6, but we do get our interception at the 36. So 6 involved in there somewhat. But that pass just slightly overthrown to Gallup, and a heck of a play from Adebo as we have a first down. Would love to find a way to level this game up, though first down for us doesn't go very well. Perhaps we need to work some counters, get the defense flowing one way, cut back to the other. With a little bit of space, Evans powering, gets another first down. He's running strong today. And as long as he's staying psyched up like he is there, we should have ourselves a decent running back today. As we go with a stretch to the outside, get a decent block from the fullback, and close to another first down, though about a yard short for Evans. Well, we'll check in Williams here on second and short, give Evans a little bit of a breather as we bounce to the outside, picking up the first down. Williams doesn't have a lot of speed, but a decent third running back. And as long as he comes through and makes the plays when he has his opportunities, that's all we could ask for. As we try to set up a little bit of some play action rollout off the back of the head of DeGuara. Love it. So maybe we'll just stick with blocking for DeGuara, as we're going to motion him over to this left-hand side. He'll help lead the way on the stretch. Decent cut there from Williams, but not going to break away from Amani Hooker. Now on 3rd and 8, we will spread wide here, going with the doubles from shotgun. Got the 2 off to the left-hand side. Covered pretty well. Let's roll out right. If we could get a block from our tight end, we don't really, but Bennett can scramble. Takes a hit at the sideline. He was in bounds, though, so no penalty comes in. That's definitely not the kind of hits we want coming in on Bennett. Might ruin any sort of development, as he will most likely get a concussion from one of those. Let's try to swing this one out. We're going to find Williams, who tiptoes the sideline for the first down. Great play. Plus, he did really well at beating the blitzer there as we're down inside the 10, 1st and goal. How about a little read option? Stetson Bennett with a juke, powering into the end zone. Who knew he could run through 2 defenders? I definitely didn't, but with the extra point, we should have leveled this one up, capitalizing off of Paulson Adebo's interception. Now can the Cowboys, who started this game 14-0, now with it 14-14, can they find a way to bounce back? Or will it be our defense that continues building momentum as they start in pistol ace, making a check? Prescott, snap, will be a quick slant. Instead going to the outside, Mercedes Lewis, gain of maybe a yard. That completing 8 of his 11 throws today, though most of them haven't been very far downfield. I think they've hit a couple medium. As we hit the 2-minute warning here, this game leveled up 14-14. Would love to see another one of our young players make a play like Adebo did last time, or Mullen, who almost had an interception, though he dropped it, dumping this one off. Pollard shucks off the Joseph tackle. Mullen there to clean it up. Now, if you were around for the Madden 23 franchises, you know I like a double A gap formation, and we don't have that on this or in this playbook, and I am missing it terribly. So we might need to find ourselves a new defensive playbook, because I really would love a double A gap formation. Might be a good way of kind of artificially creating some pass rush as CeeDee Lamb breaks off a nice play as they continue on in hurry up. Going to make some adjustments, switch up our defensive calls, though they keep gouging us across the middle on these just level concepts. And honestly, I don't really believe we have the tools necessary to take those away, as we have about a half cover linebacker. All the other guys are run stoppers, so struggling in that aspect. Right now, the Cowboys are driving as they are down to the 15 with 43 seconds left in the half. Quick throw to the outside. Pollard with a beautiful block from CeeDee Lamb. He probably could have walked into the end zone, maybe even crawled. That's how much space he had. Coverage not there whatsoever. With 39 seconds left, let's see what our offense can get done. The problem, though, for us is that we've relied a lot on the running game. And with 39 seconds, not really going to be able to do that. But we will set up a halfback screen with a good cut there from Evans. Stiff arm does not come through for us. We'll take the timeout. I'll end up netting 8 yards on the halfback screen. We'll stick with the spread wide look. Going to keep a lot of short routes here. Hopefully that'll help us out. Though they're all covered pretty well. Bennett just going to step up and scramble. He gets by Gilmore, rushing all the way past midfield, and a late hit comes in for sure. Though once again, the ref keeping that flag in his pocket. But it does at least go for a massive gain for us, as we'll stay spread, though a slightly more compact look here as we have a split backfield. Going to be a play action as the tight end kind of got stuck and the throw just slightly too far out in front. I was really trying to just find a late cross there with no one left on that side, but pass just a little bit off as we have Julio deep, one-on-one with Diggs, and Diggs got burned deep. Honestly, I think he just never even saw where that ball was going. Julio luckily did lag just a little bit behind Diggs and was able to make the big grab. We'll need to make sure he got both feet down. And I think he got that last foot down just before stepping out. And you just could not have asked for a better way to go into halftime, leveling this game up against the Cowboys. Right now, they're on upset alert as it is 21-21. But let's see what's happening around the league. Any of these other bad teams surprisingly doing well today? We'll find out, maybe, eventually. Madden? There we go. Texans taking on the Panthers. A 1-5 Texans, 2-4 Panthers. Panthers up 14-3. So either of these teams winning would be a pretty big win. We're going to drop a little bit south from there. Patriots taking on the Dolphins. Dolphins up right now. They're 5-2, 17-7. Patriots 1-6. So they're definitely struggling this year. And lastly, who do we have? Colts taking on the Saints. Saints, we did trade Cooper Kupp to. He has 5 catches, 60 yards, and has the Saints up against the 6-1 Colts. Richardson, 2 touchdowns in that first half, though only 50% completion. But overall, seems like a pretty good start to the year for Richardson as we get underway here in the second half. We'll call a fair catch in the end zone, starting at the 25. And while the passing game has been good, I don't want to get away from the running game. As well, Bennett has made some impressive plays, so has Evans. And I think the key to beating this Dallas team, as we don't pick up anything there, but I do think the key to beating at least the defense is kind of getting this defensive line out of the game any way we can. As we hand it off, DeGuara, fullback dive will just net us 2. So with it being a 3rd and long, we'll switch to a shotgun look, though keeping it tight. As we're going to have a couple different options. And they really do pretty well taking away most of those options. We'll end up throwing this one away, and our first drive doesn't go anywhere. So for the Cowboys, who already put a really good game together, Tony Pollard more specifically has 124 total yards on the day. And we have been prone to giving up about 200 plus yards from scrimmage to running backs of recent. So if we could change that, that would be fantastic. Though it's going to be about another gain of 8, maybe even 9 on the first down run. We have been rocking with Seiler and Hoach in the middle of this defensive line for the nickel sets, and I feel like they're getting exposed over and over again. We just don't have a big goon across the middle to just eat up some blocks. Though when we do go out in the more base packages, we do see Williams and Brown coming out, and they at least are some bigger, stronger dudes, though the block shedding really isn't much to talk about as Pollard breaks the Murray tackle. We'll pick up another 8 on first, though might be shaken up. Though it appears he's shaken off whatever had shaken him up, as he's out there on 2nd and 2. With a full house look, Dak checking something. Look to see if it's a run. No, it's going to be a pass. We'll drop back into coverage then. And the slip, but the knockaway. Great recovery, Adebo. Didn't really plan for him to be a number 1 corner for us, but I mean, right now he's making the case for it. As it's 3rd and 2. The ace pistol set. We send a delayed blitz, and Dak delivers a beautiful pass to Cooks. Tried to send the safety blitz, and he got his arm up there, just fortunately Dak with the better angle, as it's going to be a more truer ace formation here. Another drop back pass across the middle going Lewis' way, and he will pick up 5. So despite having honestly quite a lot of down the field receiving targets, Dak prefers a short to maybe medium style throwing game. But it's working out for him honestly really well, as they almost went back to it there, this time dumping off Pollard, and he'll actually lose some yards, maybe even the first down after breaking that tackle. Granted, I'll take that all day, every day, as it helps us out. A 3rd and 2. Can we get the stop this time? Not with that blocking down the middle. An absolutely beautiful hole. They didn't even need Yanovich. He was just an extra help. But it'll just be one play off for Pollard as he's back on. With the first down to the 30. With 3 off to that right-hand side, they go deep. CeeDee Lamb toe taps at the 5. Mullen Jr. got beat off that quick cut there from CeeDee Lamb, and now we're going to have to try to stop what I can only assume is going to be another dive. No, it's actually going to be a toss to the outside, and once again, that run blocking, just perfect. We weren't anywhere close, as the Cowboys do regain their lead 28-21. But we've been able to keep up with them just about every step of the way, so let's keep playing our game. It's not like we've reached a point where there's just a few seconds left and we have to throw the ball deep downfield. So let's stick with the running game. It's definitely helped us out with at least setting up the passing game, but we try to make a just nice little cut down the middle there. Nothing gained. Anthony Barr rather quick to actually get the stop, and let's leak out Williams to that left-hand side. Hopefully there's not going to be anyone there with the play action and everyone going that way, or they actually keep someone there. Though we do have Julio. Nice adjustment that time on the throw behind. Will be a first down. I am noticing just a slight difference in Bennett coming into this game rather than in previous games where those throws behind ended up being interceptions a lot of the time, as Williams tried to find a cut underneath the blockers. Will net 5. And for the first time I feel like today, though maybe we ran it one time, coming out with a single back set, trying to hit the counter with all the space. Evans trying to get by Hooker, stiff arm another guy in a Wilson, and that's a nice run just inside the 30. Previous Maddens had me going away from the counter entirely, but it might be back here in Madden 24 as we go with the play action rollout. We have a couple different options. Let's just extend the play, look for a block, which we don't entirely get. Good stop there from Barr, 2nd and inches. But with a stacked box here, let's actually motion over Hopkins. See if we can get a crackback block. No, but we'll at least manage the first down. A nice strong run there. Now that's how we enter the 4th quarter. Down 28-21, though we are driving. Though I feel like I should knock on wood after saying that. I was going to set up a tight end screen. To the opposite side, we do find Williams. He's just a little bit slow to get going. We'll net about 4 yards on the play. Was fun running that, though. Tight end screens did not work very well in Madden 23, at least on last gen. We're motion over Hopkins once again. Fake the jet sweep to him. Evans, if only he could have broke to the outside. Once again, another good stop from Barr. And now a heavy look over to that left-hand side as I was trying to set up a read option. Looks like we may actually know he slides over. We'll hand this one off down the middle, though. Evans gets rocked across the middle. 4th and 1 down at the 7. We're down 7 inside the 4th quarter. Feel like this is a prime time to go for it, though. We just need the 1 yard. from the weak eye. Handed off to Guara. Will pick it up. Keeps going into the end zone. He wanted much more than the first down. He wanted the touchdown. As we will level this game up once again. And once again, we put this Cowboys offense in a spot where they need to come through. But the same could be said for our defense. If they could get a stop here, we might be able to drain some clock, maybe just hit a field goal. Get our first win on the season. If only we could just tackle Pollard on the first attempt. He picks up 4. And it's a tough time here for the defensive coordinator. Do we go for a blitz and risk giving up a pass play because we've given those up, but Batonio, forgot his name for a second, makes the big stop. And actually, I did just fully forget his name. It was close, but not quite close. Bonito, not Batonio, as it will be a pass, 3rd and 7. No pass rush for us up front, and they will find Mercedes Lewis, who just gets by the slot corner. Lack of awareness, shining bright. Also shining bright is just the lack of a pass rush. I mean, with all that time, someone's going to get open. You got to get something moving. Good stop, Murray. Just pushes off. I think it was Adonga who came over to get the block, and he makes the tackle not in the backfield, but at the line of scrimmage at least. Just a great play, and one of the few good run stops we've seen. 2nd and 10 will be another pass as they add up actually a deep throw that's gonna be caught. Cooks can't even say it was bad coverage by Adebo. He was on the man entirely. But that ball just dropped in over the top of Adebo. We'll take another look. Just an absolutely perfect pass from Dak, dropping into Brandon Cooks. I mean, if that ball was just a yard shorter, it's a knockaway or another interception. They needed the perfect throw, and they got the perfect throw. Now we essentially need a perfect drive. Would like to pretty much kill time with it as well, as Evans will pick up 3. He's had 14 carries, 75 yards on the day. We'll go back to him, looking for that counter once again, bouncing off of a couple guys, staying on his feet though eventually will hit the floor as we have a first down at the 34. Now, as I mentioned, I want to try to drain some clock here because I don't want a lot of time for the Cowboys to try to get another score. What I think would be the perfect thing would be for us to get a touchdown to tie this thing up, sending it directly into overtime and then getting the ball back and finding another touchdown. That would be perfect for us as the jet sweep does not go perfectly for us this time. Johnson, maybe loss of 1. Though I do feel like we're at a spot where if we get at least to the 40, you consider going for it. And pretty much you would kind of have to go for it. We just have to get to the 40 with a throw out wide. We find Johnson, won't have to go for it as we get the first down to the 46. Bennett has just had, I want to say it was 2 or 3 incompletions on the day. When he has thrown, he's been solid. As Williams finds some space, picking up a gain of 6, sending us to that 2-minute warning. Now let's see if we could fake a jet sweep here and get some people open downfield. Or not so much. Let's just check this one down instead. Johnson with a stiff arm, 3rd and inches. So far the plan working out well. We just have to finish off this drive, which means a first down will be needed here, and we get it with Williams right down the middle. Now we do have all 3 timeouts, so we might end up needing to use those later. See if we could roll out here, maybe find Julio at the sideline. That pass was the worst we've seen so far from Bennett. Was hoping to get a lower throw, but not like that. So let's try to set up a little bit of some read option here. Actually have some space to the outside though. Getting rocked. Bennett loses the ball. Odigizua with the big hit. Left the field earlier with an injury, but just a timely hit. That hand right on the ball. And now with about a minute 20, Cowboys get the ball. And if we're going to make anything happen, it's going to have to be a quick stop. Pollard in the backfield, not going anywhere that time. Mullen with the tackle for a loss. Just need 2 more of those, as we'll keep everyone down towards the line here, though. Need to be cautious of them popping the ball over the top as they do hand it off. Nice stop there from Jones, and it's an injury for I honestly can't quite pronounce that name. I'm not even going to try. But that is a free timeout for us. Unfortunate for them. And we just need one more stop here on 3rd and 12. I expect a pass, though they do hand it off Pollard, and not going to get by Durant. We'll call that second timeout. 1 remaining. We'll get the ball back with about a minute on the clock. And we'll have to drive the near length of the field starting back at the 22. We've really been a run first, pass behind it kind of team today. But it's the passing game that's gonna really have to set us up as we go with a halfback screen. Evans will pick up the first down and out of bounds at the 34. As he does seemingly get into it with the Dallas sideline. 57 seconds left on the clock. Let's just make Rodgers' route a little bit deeper. See what we can get open here. Not much. Let's roll. We have the potential with Julio, though he stops the route but still gets the catch. We have 1 timeout remaining. Let's not waste it yet. Go a little bit of the hurry up. They'll send 2 guys, 2 safeties deep. Might need to check this one down. Out to Evans. Not going to get very far. We'll take the timeout there. This pass rush can just be really risky for us. So we're going to send some guys deep. Keep Evans back for a second. Right down the seam. The pass is not placed where it needed to be. And Amani Hooker will get the pick to seal the game. We had the rookie in Nakoa right down the seam, but Bennett put it too far to that left-hand side. Honestly, it was a tight window either way, but you hope for a better placement there. Well, we at least made this a close game, putting the Dallas Cowboys on upset alert for a good majority of this game. Though at the end, they get the last final big play, forcing 2 turnovers late on both of those drives that could have ended with points. Unfortunately, it will be another loss for us, but there is promise with this team that we are starting to see. But that is the kind of game that I like to see right after we make our last trades that we can make for this season. Now we move on to play against the Packers next, a team that we traded Matthew Stafford to. We'll see if he gets the start. They are 1-6, though they do have some good players. Their defense 19th in passing yards, though they do struggle against the run, so we're definitely going to put that first and foremost. Offensively, they're 9th in passing yards. Not so much doing in the rushing category, so we'll see how well we can go in this next one. And to make sure you see how well we do in this next one, hit that bell icon in the bottom right or scroll down and hit that subscription button, but definitely make sure you tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series is posted every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday with the state-only challenge. Currently Virginia's every Wednesday and Saturday. Now, I've been contemplating with how this series has been going so far, and clearly not been very good, at least with the performances on the field. No wins yet, though we did put something good together there against the Cowboys. I've contemplated about changing the format for the rest of this season to where each episode will be 2 games, and we'll touch more so on maybe some of the highlights, the lowlights, and some of the mundane plays. We'll cut those out and kind of go from there. That way we could get through this first season a little bit quicker, get to the off season, and really start to make some big changes. So let me know what you think about that down below in the comments section. I think I'll also post a poll as well on my community tab, so you guys can vote there as well. But that will do it for us in this one. A lot of promise there. We did see some really good play. I mean, Bennett did have a good game. Unfortunately, late on, the turnovers cropped up at the worst time. Evans ran really well. Liked what we saw there. Adebo keeps making plays. And some of the other defensive guys, they're making plays here and there. We just need to see that a lot more consistently. And I think the team will take that next step when we do see that. But that's all going to be in the future. So until then, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.